Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the TnT podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm Ted.
This week, we are going to be talking about just our past work experiences.
Oh, yes.
You had that funny coworker, that, creepy boss. I don't know. We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Oh, yeah.
So, you have a more interesting work history. I've worked at 2 places.
I've worked at a few places. So, I first worked as a DJ. Worked with my dad for a little bit, a couple years. It was very interesting.
So you're an assistant DJ.
Yeah.
An assistant to the DJ. Hope somebody got that reference.
Maybe.
You didn't at first
No,
until I told you what it. I didn't even tell you what it meant.
I didn't.
Okay, continue.
So, I worked as a DJ for a couple years. It was a fun job. Like, you meet a lot of people. You go to these really nice venues. These venues had some really nice food, I'll tell you that. The sites were really nice, like where the places were located. Like, a couple times went down to Long Beach Island. A couple times went to like these country clubs and like West Orange and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun. Did it for about 4 years, and then then I went to CKO, kickboxing.
So you versus the bag.
You versus the bag. You gotta destroy it. There's a lot of little funny sayings they got over there. They're kind of corny.
Ted
but
used to wear the shirt every single day when we were in high school.
Yes, but the thing, I always worked right after, so I would just go right there and then wouldn't have to change or anything. So I was just one of those people that was like, all right, I got it on. Don't have to worry about changing. I'm good to go. But yeah, I've worked there. I've been working there for 3 years. Obviously, right now with the shutdown, I haven't worked there in a couple months. But it's a lot of fun, very fun job. You play your own music, instruct the class. You get your characters in there. Some interesting people, I gotta say. I've had someone. I only had to deal with one customer, angry customer, in 3 years I was there.
I wish.
It was for a cancellation membership. It was actually my first year there. I was about to start class, and this one lady stormed in, and she was like, I want to cancel my membership. I was 17 at the time. You had to be 18 to do memberships. So I wasn't old enough. So I had to explain to the woman, I was like, listen, I would do it, but I'm not old enough to do it. So I don't know if that made her even more upset, but like, I was like, I'm sorry, but you got to come back in like an hour or so. Cause like I think there was another class behind me. So I was like, I'm sorry, but you got to wait another hour to do it and let my coworker handle it. So yeah, I only had to deal with one angry customer, which I was surprised it's been my only one.
Did she accept that and move on?
She did. Luckily, she didn't fight me on it because I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. That's just policy, whatnot. I had to do, actually, scratch that. I had one more. I just remember I had one more. What happened was this lady. Okay, so during the time where you start class, right? So like when class started at 5:45, this lady comes in at 6:00 and wanted to sign up for the class, and I'm like, it's been 15 minutes. You could have gotten here like 30 minutes ago, and I would have gave you, or 25 minutes ago, like at 5:30 or something. I would have got you all filled out with papers and gloves and everything like that. And then I told her, I'm like, you got to come back in like an hour. I can't take you right now because it's going to distract me from the class. I got to like go flip-flop.
Wasting the other people's money.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And she stormed out. And I'm like, sorry, but that's just policy. I'm not going to stop class just for one person.
Oh my God, dude. You just spit and it launched all the way across the desk.
Oh. Sorry. But yeah, what about you? Where did you start off?
I started out at my competitor, Target.
Oh.
I was a seasonal cashier. That's really all there is to it.
So how many months did you work there?
It was like 3 months or something. It was just from, what was it, like beginning of November till the end of December. It's really just the holiday season. Got you.
Just to be like one of those fill-ins where you're just there and just...
Yeah, just the extra workers. No real stories to tell, honestly. I didn't have to deal with any Karens. Nothing really, honestly.
Oh, good. Well, that must have been like relieving, or you left there and like, I didn't have to really.
Well, I was 16, 17 at the time, so I didn't know really what a full Karen was until I went to Wally World.
The Karens over
which
there.
Which was later that year.
Yeah.
I was I finished, it was like January of 2017. Then August 2017 is when I started out at Walmart.
That's where the ultimate Karens are.
They're a different breed, dude. Yes. They're a different breed.
They are a different breed. And he has been at Walmart ever since.
3 years. 3 years, like 2 weeks ago, actually.
Wow. So
you can tell how happy I am about that.
Oh, boy.
But I started just as like a stalker. We unloaded trucks and then just stock stuff, really.
Gotcha.
Didn't have to deal with any Karens until I went to pickup. So after I was a stalker, then I went to like the online pickup area as a regular associate. And then got promoted to department manager. That's where we had to deal with a lot of angry people. Oh, their order isn't ready. They got an email.
I've seen some, when I used to visit you, I went over there, I would see some Karens come up and complain to you, and you'd be just like...
I'd just stand and be like...
I can't do anything about it, and that's just, that's not
or
just me.
They'd come to pick up an order, and it would be for like... a store like 20 miles the other direction. Be like, wrong store. Can you have them ship it here? No. What do you mean no? That's horrible customer service. This is a true story. And I'm like, because I can't do that. You can reorder it if you want, or go pick it up there.
Yeah.
Or I had one person, they ordered whatever their thing was to a town of the same name in Ohio.
Oh.
So then we're here, it says, I almost said the town. It says the town. I'm like, yeah, look a little further. Ohio.
It must have been like, oh my God.
I mean, they were pissed, but I'm like, I can't do nothing.
Well, that's on you.
That state's over, buddy.
Yeah, that's on you there, buddy. Man, you got a lot of stories that you can tell about the encounters of people that you've encountered with.
Nice use of the same word.
I know.
No, there's... When it was in pickup, it was just people complaining how their order wasn't ready. They're like, oh, my order's not ready, but it says it's going to be done by this time. I'm like, yeah, but did you get the email saying it was ready? Well, no, then it's not ready.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The hours I worked, though.
Oh.
Especially when I became department manager over it. Oh, my God. Like, this past holiday season, 2019, so many nights where I would get there 11 a.m. and I wouldn't leave until 1, 2, 3 a.m. Just trying to get stuff done.
The man's hours.
Because they would not hire me any more people. So I would work all these long hours. And then, what was it? I think it was the day before Black Friday. So the day before actual Thanksgiving. I worked 5 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. That's like, 16 and a half hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked.
16 and a half. Yeah, it's crazy hours that you worked there.
And then on Thanksgiving, I went back at 7 a.m. until 1 o'clock. Then I went back at 4 p.m. and didn't leave till 8:30 the next morning.
Oh my God. It's nuts.
I don't know how many hours that is.
I think it was, 15, 16 hours or something like that?
What is it? It's like 16 hours.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Then during the annual inventory, which inventory, if anyone who hasn't worked retail, is basically third-party company comes in and just counts everything you have compared to what your system says, see what kind of discrepancies, see how much we lost on things that were stolen and whatnot. I worked for 120 hours within 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Big money, but I was tired.
Yeah, you were.
Because for a few days, I did, worked a normal shift, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., then went back at 2 hours later at 10, worked until 7 a.m., then went back at 11, stayed until 8, went back at 10. I did day, overnight for like 2 or 3 days straight.
This man you must have slept like a baby once
that was over. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I got not even 4 hours of sleep. By the time I would get home, it would be like 7:30. By the time I would get like settled in bed, it'd be 8 o'clock, and then I'd have to be up by 10:30 anyway. So it was like 2 hours.
Good Lord.
And that Thanksgiving, when I worked, 4 p.m. till 8:30 in the morning, I was ready to stay there for the rest of the day until one of the managers was like, "We got this. Go home." I was like, "Are you sure?" They made me go home. I was gonna stay and work. So I would have got
more hours.
Would have got another monster or something. I would have survived. I was gonna say I'd be good. I would have been good, but I would have survived.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, another one of my places I worked at Planet Fitness for a couple months. At first it was all right. Like, it was pretty cool job. I knew a lot of people there, which made it more comfortable. So, like starting up was a little bit of a process because you have to go through a thing called Planet Fitness University. Got to go there and PFU, and pretty much get training on there and this and that. Take like these quizzes and tests over there. So it was tests were so easy. It was hard to fail, and this one person. They took the test and they failed it. They failed the 2 tests out of like three of them, and my boss was like, "You gotta go." And the tests are they
fired them or let them go, whatever they want to call it.
They let them go because
no, we had to do that kind of training too. Like your first week is supposed to be computer training. They don't really have a special name for it, but. Remember when I became department manager, I was supposed to go to, they call it Academy, which is basically Walmart University. But for some reason, I didn't go till, God, when was that? I don't even remember. I didn't go till months later after I was already DM. But it wasn't bad. It was Monday through Friday. So I had before that, Saturday, Sunday off, then I worked Monday through Friday. It was at a store a little bit away, so I started getting paid the minute I left my house all throughout the day until when I got home. So I got paid whatever my hourly rate was. And then I got paid mileage, which I think it's like a quarter per mile or something. But over the week it added up to an extra $150.
Oh, nice.
So that's way more than 1 tank of gas.
Yeah.
So that was a good paycheck, because then all that got counted as overtime. I could probably go back and see. I don't remember when it was. Not worth it. But, the working, say I left my house at 5:30, 6 a.m. Didn't get home until maybe, again, 5:30 or 6. Because, obviously traffic was horrible. Because I had to go through, like, I passed MetLife every day.
Yeah. And for those that don't live around that area, it is a nightmare to go through. There's always traffic at any time, at any day. It doesn't matter what time it is, what day it is. There's always going to be traffic on that road. Always, always. Never fails. You leave at a certain time, there's going to be traffic. It's just one of those things you just cannot avoid.
Yep. Hey, honestly, that was the only time I will not complain about traffic, because I was getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
I was getting paid, and it was all most of it was a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
So time and a half. So I wasn't complaining. I was like, sure. Now I remember the one day, I think it was the last, I wound up going back to my store, and I wound up just working. So I just got like an extra hour of pay.
Hey, any extra pay is always
it's
good.
More money.
It's always good.
If it was now, that money go right in the stock market.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You and your stocks.
Yeah, bro.
Of course.
You and your $100.
Investment. Yeah, I know. But with Planet, it was like I said, it was all right. Like a couple funny stories. I've encountered a few Karens over the phone about memberships and stuff like that, and
I'm gonna speak to your manager.
I've gotten a few of those because sometimes it's like, because sometimes there were like deals that like they would see on TV, and it's like sometimes they forgot to tell us about some deals, and it was funny because one time they told us about this deal, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know about that. And they forgot to tell us about that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, I see. I was like, oh, that's it right there. Okay. Because they forgot to tell me, and, and they're like, oh, there's a deal. And then he goes, yeah. And I'm like, you didn't tell me. He's like, oh. Oh my God. But it was fun. It was kind of funny. He felt bad about it, but it's all good. But yeah, I had to encounter some Karens, and one time this one lady called, and she wanted to speak to the new manager that was there. I think he's still there now. And I'm like, hey, she wants to talk to you. And he didn't even budge. And I'm like, dude, you gotta answer it. She's asking for you, not me, you. And I could see him. He's just like, like all right, And I gave him the phone. I'm like, yeah, because he want you, not me. I ain't no manager. That's your job.
Yep.
So I was so also too with cleaning wise. Cleaning was all right. Like I had it wasn't.
This is all obviously pre-Rona.
This was all pre-Rona. We would clean fairly decent amount every day. I mean, we still cleaned a good amount. Obviously not as much as like now per se, but we would do bottles like hourly. Because if it reached a certain point, we would fill them. And honestly, the bottle filler, filled with the chemicals and stuff like that, it was always inconsistent. So like whenever I pressed the button, sometimes it would flow fantastic. Like it would be very quick, to the point, but sometimes it would take forever.
What are you talking about?
You know how they have those spray bottles
Yes.
at the gym to clean off? I'm talking about like where to fill them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have something like that where you have to turn the water on, then put the bottle under whichever cleaner, and then
mm-hmm. Yeah. So it would work. Sometimes it would work like a charm, but other times it would come out so slow, or it wouldn't come out at all. Because I had one time my old boss, I had to call him over because he was still working there till 10. So luckily enough, I had it was like 8. It was like 5 to 9. I got out at 9 o'clock, and I go to him like, hey, for some reason this ain't working. So even like for him, like he's pretty good at that stuff. So he was trying to figure it out, and he couldn't figure it out. He finally got it like 15 minutes later. It was like 10 after 9, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like it was like something with the hose, and some reason the water wasn't going through, so he had to fix like the whole hose thing and try to like reconnect it and stuff like that. There was no water coming out of where it was connected to, but it was just one of those things where just the water wasn't flowing. Yeah, so I was there for about 4 months, and then I left Planet to go to UFC. And UFC is a great gym, and it's a great spot. It's not sponsored by UFC, but it's really cool. My bosses there are really nice guys, and people are really nice there as well. Coworkers are great. The trainers are really cool. So it's a cool atmosphere there. I've been there since November, and obviously since the shutdown, haven't been able to teach classes there because I instruct kickboxing there as well. Not too many. I haven't dealt with Karens there, for complaining or whatever. I mean, I've dealt with people saying they hated me during the class because, they're going through all those exercises.
Well, you're kicking their butt.
Yeah, and and they hate me during the class, but they're like, "Oh, I love you" at the end. So it's like, yeah. It's a love-hate relationship with instructors with stuff like that. So I've also, obviously, we've talked about this in a previous episode. We did DoorDash. I did that for about a month or so. Then I stopped after a very... Yeah,
we talked about everything about that, but this incident happened after we did that podcast.
Yes, after we did that podcast. So I was... excuse me. I was doing a trip to McDonald's. And, they put the food in the bag. So I was like, all right. So next thing you know, I get to the place, which wasn't far. Wasn't far from there. So I stop. And I go over to reach through the bag. And I see it's leaking. And I'm like, why is this leaking? Turns out, there's Coke in the bag. And the Coke...
Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Not cocaine.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola, the lid wasn't shut fully.
And they put it inside the bag.
And they put it inside the bag with the food, and the bag broke, and the food went everywhere. There was Coke inside. There was Coke all over my car seat.
Again, Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So I was like, I had like a full-blown panic attack. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what? Like, I don't know the protocols. Like, what am I supposed to do? They want their food. I don't know what to do. So I went up, and I started, like, I was just so panicked that I didn't know what to do. And, I went up to the guy, and, obviously it wasn't unacceptable, of course, because obviously the food's all over the place. So then they asked me, like, what are you supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I wish I knew. But then, I was like, what? Then I threw out the idea of calling DoorDash and was like, just call them, saying there was an accident, the drink spilled inside the bag. And
everywhere in your car.
Everywhere in my car. And they were like, okay, they refunded them and they're going to reorder another batch without them paying extra. So I was like, oh, okay, good. But, like, it was just like, it was so ridiculous. I don't know why you put
that was stupid on McDonald's.
Yeah, drinks inside the bag. Knowing that
no other place. We did it for a while. There's no other place that did that.
No, and they always put it outside. So it was like, we've done orders for chili.
Or if they did, it's in like one of the cup holder thingies inside another bag, something like that.
Or just in general, like just have one of those like plastic cup holders where they hold like the four cups, and then you just carry it.
Yeah.
To the plastic sides. That's what I thought. I'm thinking, okay, they got that. I didn't know they had a Coke or anything because I know they got like one of those like big, those large meals or whatever. So you wouldn't think that because you think, going to Applebee's and Chili's, you're thinking like, all right, they usually put it on the outside or they just hand it to me, or they order multiples, so they put it into like I said, the plastic cup holders. But no, it was like they didn't even close the lid shut. Like, I don't know, like, it was just like, okay, like it's not my fault that you guys forgot to close the lid, and that happened. But it took a while to get that Coke off the seat because
that is the last time he DoorDashed.
That was the last time I DoorDashed.
And he had all this food in his car. The people were taken care of. They're getting their food. He didn't eat the McDonald's.
I didn't, and
it was like on you. It wasn't like your floor was disgusting.
No.
Part of it was still in the bag, right? Sitting on the chair.
The two sandwiches were still inside, but what happened was
uncokified.
It was, but I think that
you were too shaken up.
Mm-hmm. So what happened was like.
So that's the first thing I said. But did you eat the food?
No, I didn't. Some people asked me, "Did you eat it?" I said no, and they asked, you asked me why. I was so mad, I just didn't want to see it. Because, I was thinking, like, oh, yeah, free food. That's, like, okay, that's, like, a plus. But, like, in the moment, I'm just like, I don't want to see this. Like, get this out of my face. Like, I don't want it. Get it out of here.
But that was back in, was it June?
Yeah, that was June.
And he has not DoorDashed since.
Yes, and I've just been trying. It was just so, it was such a traumatic experience because you just didn't know what to do. If you knew what to do, then it was like, okay, it's nothing too major. But when
you're lucky they weren't a Karen.
I know, but that's the thing. It's who knows if that person was way worse. So you never know. But I actually another experience I had. This wasn't in the other podcast as well. Remember I told you about the story about the one lady that I got this garlic bread from.
Oh yeah, I remember
and
that
she ordered
story.
spaghetti, but it wasn't on there. It wasn't on the order, and it was only the garlic bread. And she accused me of not getting the order to her house. And I'm like, that's on you or the place because I'm just trying to deliver the food.
I'm like, you can check my car. There's no spaghetti in there.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not holding spaghetti against you.
I'm not holding spaghetti hostage.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And I was like, what is going on here? So, yeah, there's some interesting... You encounter some interesting people during that time. Sometimes you have a couple hiccups. Sometimes it's good, But, other than that, DoorDash is, you get good money from it, too. I mean, it always
wasn't
depends.
bad.
No. It was the most I actually ever got from an order was $23.
And the one time I did it wasn't like 18 I got from one.
Mm-hmm. I got that. The 23 I got from was an Outback order. It was like they were having a party or some sort, and the bill was like about maybe $170.
Shoot.
And so I was like, all right. So I had all this food. It smelled fantastic. That was a perk about it. But it was a good perk, but a bad perk at the same time, because like it just gets your hunger up because of smelling all the food. The cool part is once I was done, it's like if I was hanging out with somebody later, they just come in, smell nice
blooming onion.
Yeah, blooming onion from Outback or whatnot, and so it was kind of funny. It's like, oh, you smell that? It's all that steak and stuff from Outback or Applebee's or Chili's or whatnot. So it was cool. It was cool for a little while. I'm actually starting up tutoring for my school, so see how that goes. Just did some application stuff yesterday, so not too bad. It's $11 an hour for now, and it's going to go up to 12 for towards like the midpoint of the semester. So it'll be cool. See how that goes.
From the Walmart, you can make 13.
He's been on the train for me to come to Walmart for the longest time, and I've just backed out on it every single time.
Even better, go to Target, get 15.
Yeah. I don't know. See how it goes, but I'm excited to see how the tutoring goes, because I've always enjoyed Spanish. I've always done fairly well in classes, and
I did too. It didn't stick with me. I don't remember anything. I got all A's.
Yo,
don't even.
¿Tú eres no recuerdo? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Got you.
But obviously for me with Walmart, after I was department manager, then I went into the team lead position. Not going to say what happened. I will save that for the day I leave Walmart. But now I work in electronics, which is so much better. So much better. Don't ever be a manager. The money's good, but don't be a manager.
A big tip for the former manager himself.
Yes. Like I said, when I leave Walmart, I will tell the story, but now I am not going to. Just don't be a manager. It's not worth it. Not worth it. But, so that's where we're at now. Actually, I did have one Karen. It was an older lady. She came up to the counter. I was like, hi, you need help? She said, hi, is Bob here? Not his real name, but guy I work with. And I'm like, oh no, he's not here today. Then she, on the top of her lungs, has like a temper tantrum like she's 5 years old. I want to speak to the manager. And thankfully my manager was right behind me, so I just pointed at him, walked away. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. If you're gonna like be immature like that, I'm not dealing with you.
Yeah. What was
she was like 70. Like she was definitely an adult. Yeah. And she's sitting here having like a temper tantrum. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that now.
Did you find out like what the reason was?
The guy was gonna help her set up her phone or something. I don't know. Something stupid, and she freaked out. I'm like, I'm not dealing with it. And then I just went to the next customer. let him deal with that. I'm I'm not. I don't get paid to deal with it anymore.
Nope. That's the beauty of that. I don't have to worry about that at all.
Yeah, it's fine with me. Alrighty. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we hit it on the nose.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for listening this week. Make sure to follow us on all our socials, as well as now we have started our YouTube channel, which is TnT Podcast. We're posting every episode we've done thus far on there, and we will pretty soon be starting doing the video version on there as well. See our
beautiful faces on
Yes. With that said, again, check out our shop on tntpodcast.com, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace, guys.